Welcome to the Haunted Report.
What is FearFest?
FearFest is held at Camp Anderson. It's the camp's largest fundraiser for the year, and the camp is run by all volunteers. And we try to keep the expenses to a minimum for those people who use the camp because we're providing a service. And this, in order to do that, we have to raise money. And this has turned out to be our biggest fundraiser each year, and it will run the last 2 weekends of October, the 18th and 19th and 25th and 26th.
How does the community benefit from this?
Well, as I said a second ago, we keep the costs low. If you've done many of these haunted houses around the state, some of them are terribly expensive, and ours are not. We intentionally keep them low, and because we want this to be a family experience. So when you come to the camp and you're getting scared, it's okay to have little ones with you, because we scare you, and we hear screaming all night long, but we try to keep it manageable so a family can afford to go out.
So where does the money go?
So we use the funds to operate the camp. Expenses that we have, our insurance bill alone is $10,000 a year just to have insurance on the camp. But we have a septic system that we have to run, electricity. We provide firewood that we produce, and cut ourselves and split. We have to do the upkeep of the buildings, of the trails. We provide fishing at our pond, so the pond is stocked by the Bald Eagle Sportsman's Club every couple times a year, so kids can go out and fish along with their parents. We do a lot of things. So all these things, paying for the gas, the propane, those sort of things, gas for all the equipment that we use, it costs money.
Yeah, so what kind of attractions are involved in FearFest?
So what we do is when you show up at Smith Transport, that's where you park, then we transport people back and forth with the school bus. Mort Snyder is wonderful. He loans that to us every year, and we get a local school bus driver, and they do the driving for us. So you park at Smith Transport, you come up to the camp, you get dropped off, and that bus goes back and forth all night long. What you do when you get there, you buy your tickets. The first venue that most people go to is the haunted building, the haunted dining hall, and then that leads from the dining hall out through a field, through another building, and then out through a trail that goes through the woods and winds its way back to the dining hall. That experience, it's $10 to do that, and with that comes a hayride. So at the very end of the event, or the haunted house and the trail, then people can get on a haunted hayride, and we take them up another road and out to another area where we have more scary stuff laid out for people. And we tend to do some things along the way too, a few surprises. But so we do the haunted hayride, and the house is $10. And then the other experiences that we have are we do escape rooms. So we have 4 different escape rooms, and we also do Orbeez shooting. Do you know what Orbeez are?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so that's such a wild thing. We used to do paintball, but we found Orbeez is a little safer and a little less expensive.
Yeah.
So for either one of those are $8 for a haunted room or escape room, and $8 for Orbeez, and it's $10 for the haunted house and the hayride. Some people just come out and want to do the hayride, which is fun. Like they'll come out a couple of nights in a row, and maybe it's real crowded one night, so they'll come the second. And the hayride, I think, if you're going to do that separately, I think it's like $3 or $4. Frankly, I don't remember. But it's so we have lots of things there, but we also have food, really good food. And that's one of the reasons a lot of people come out to the camp is they can get hamburgers, hot dogs, French fries, chili, different soups, all kinds of snacks, baked goods. It's just, we can fill you up before you head home.
So how long does it take to build up and set an entire attraction up?
It takes, as soon as they tear down, they start planning. So the planning goes all year round. and they really put a lot into this. The guys that do the work have to be certified by the state. You see, some haunted camps or haunted houses around the state are not certified, and ours is. So we send our team down to Philadelphia every other year to get certified, and so our site gets inspected by the state, and so we make sure that it's fire safety is in place, that all the things necessary to keep people safe and happy are there. So we go out of our way to make sure that our experience is quality. I forget. What was that question? I got myself off.
How long does it take to like build and set up an entire attraction?
The actual construction takes a whole month. So we've actually started that already. One of the flyers that I will make available here through the school lays out all the dates of the month that we're going to have crews out there working. So if a student wants to get in community service time, come out and help us set up. Or come out during the event and be a scare. There are lots of jobs to do, and if you have that question later on, I can read off our huge list of tasks that we need filled. But it takes all month, and we construct, and then it takes us about a week to do the tear down. There's a lot of manual labor that goes into it.
Do you guys have it mostly set up already?
No, we've just started working on the framework for inside the dining hall, and some of the framework that will go through the woods and the trails in one of the other buildings. When we have a big open chapel, and what we'll do is, for this haunted camp, we will divide that into 4 spaces, and then each becomes its own room, escape room, and the construction is truly amazing. It takes a lot of people, hundreds and hundreds of hours to put this together.
So how do you guys train the actors?
Well, what you'll do depends on what you're doing. But if you're an actor, they will take you in. The dining hall is made up of many rooms. So typically it's 7 to 9 rooms. And so they'll take the team for each room into the room, and our staff will teach you what to do. They'll teach you when the people come from the next room into your room, they'll show you the flow. They'll tell you what they want you to do. They'll tell you about the timing that they need, what the effects are, because every room has different special effects. We have smoke in some rooms. We have some 3D things in some of the rooms. Obviously, lots of sound, but our actors are really important. We never want our actors touching a guest. We never want a guest touching an actor. But to freak them out and just send them right over the edge, yeah, go for it. And what we do is when you show up on site earlier in the evening, we have a bus that we use that we do makeup. So you'll go into the room, you'll do the makeup, depending on your character, and then they'll dress you accordingly. So you don't have to come out with makeup or with a costume. We have everything that we need there for you.
Have there been any funny or surprising reactions from guests?
Oh my, yes. We had a bus and I won't say where they were from, but we had a bus of girls show up, and they dropped them off at the camp. Well, these girls had never been to a haunted experience of any kind before, and they got off the bus, and they heard all the screaming from inside the main hall, the main event, and they all looked at each other. And they then went into small huddles, and they all were like debating, is this something we really want to do? Well, as they're doing this, one of our actors, and we have actors that walk all over the camp through the experience, and they'll just come up and spook you. Well, that's what happened. Every girl, there were, I think, 48 girls on this bus. Every one of them ran right back into the bus. And they refused to get off until one of the advisors got on and explained what was going on, and they're like, oh, okay. So, but some of them stayed on the bus, refused to get off, because even though it's family friendly, it's also pretty scary, intentionally so. But we've had a lot of people. Have you ever seen someone get so scared they start laughing?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they get into hysterical fits of laughter. When you hear that, and you can hear it loudly playing, it's hysterical. It's just fun moments.
Have there ever been rumors that the attraction itself is haunted?
There have been a number of stories about Camp Anderson and having ghosts. There are, and we have a couple of folks that are pretty good at telling some of those stories. But yes, if what most people don't realize is an old railroad from Phillipsburg, where the circus train wreck occurred, well, those railroad tracks that were coming down off the mountain come through our camp. And so there's another connection, that relates to that story, because we aren't very far from where that actually happened.
How do you ensure that every corner has a different type of fear so guests never feel safe?
Well, we have teams of volunteers who they spend the whole year, they come up with a theme early on, and then they spend the whole year planning that individual room. The individual escape rooms, they all have many different elements. So there's a lot of planning that goes into it. And what we do is we do a theme each year. This year it's Krampus. That's the bad Santa Claus. Now we told our developers that we may be taking down Christmas with this one and scaring people about Christmas, but we told them under no circumstances are you allowed to go after the Easter Bunny or the Tooth Fairy. You got to leave some of these alone, and they should be sacred. But that's what we're going to do. There's a movie that came out. I think it just came out about Krampus, and so that's our theme. And again, every area has different crews that work independently, then they all come back together, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
So what are some of the biggest challenges you guys face setting this whole haunted house up?
Yeah, the manual labor setting up, and I'd say the toughest is always tearing down, because people are exhausted. And by the time we get to the tear down, it's at the end of October, early November, and people are tired, and the weather gets worse. And one year we had a snow storm on one of the evenings, and so we had to cancel because of that. So you never know what kind of wild weather you have. Last year we had somebody locally run into a telephone pole, and they knocked it off its foundation, and the line snapped, and so we lost all our power. When you live in central PA, you have to deal with the elements and circumstances, but we always roll with the punches, and we come out on the other side stronger.
Yep. How do you balance fear and fun?
When they develop these rooms, they've done it so long, they have a pretty good feel for it. But what we do is we go through, once they have them set up, and the volunteers will go through and just to see, okay, is this one good? Do we have to tweak it? Do we have to make it funnier? There is a lot of humor. The people that do the development, they're rarely funny people. And they will put lots of subtle humor in each room. And if you're standing there and enjoying it and watching, you'll pick up a lot of cultural references and things that just make people laugh. And there's always good stuff in there for older students and adults that they might get that the small kids don't get. But we do that intentionally so that we provide some element of entertainment for all age groups.
Is there anything else you want to add?
Yes. We need volunteers. We need people to be scarers, like you were saying. We need people that help do makeup and do costuming. We have a long list here, and I encourage all of our Tyrone students to stop by the Eagle Eye Room, and there will be flyers posted that you can come, work, sign up. You can either help with the actual setup, get community service time. If you work as a scarer, you can get community service time that way as well. But some of the other jobs we have are people that build, makeup artists, painters, cooks, tour guides, ticket takers, shooting range assistants, screamers. Yeah, we have jobs just for people that hide places and let out a blood-curdling scream just to undo people. It's hysterical. It's so much fun. We'll take actors, jugglers, costume designers. If you really want to get into this, some people do, they come out to the camp a week or so early and start some of this preparation. We need help in the escape rooms, assistance there, lots of skills so we're there for everybody, and we really do need a lot of volunteers. As I said, none of us get paid. Many of these haunted facilities, camps, experiences, they pay the people that participate. We don't, because we can't afford to. This is our fundraiser, and so we just look to the good nature of our local residents and our students and the other adults in the area to just step up and help us out.
Anything else?
I don't think so. Ladies, you were awesome. Thank you for the
Thank you.
opportunity to
Thank
talk
you.
about it.